you so much for your patience. Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us on This with Essay today. It's going to be a very great day. So you guys get ready. Yeah, so I'm gonna add you on Instagram as well. Yeah, so if you come on Instagram, I'll see you and then add you. I haven't seen you on Instagram. Hi everyone on Instagram and Facebook. Today we're streaming on both Instagram and Facebook. Hi Cream Chick, thanks for joining us. Yeah, so I'm with our guest already on Facebook. She's going to connect with us on Instagram in a minute. MC Shakara one, thank you for joining us. Yeah, so our guest today is Mrs. Godrey Ogbechie. She's the executive director of Rain Oil Limited. Rain Oil Limited won the 2019 Downstream Company at the World Finance Oil Gas Awards. Okay, yeah, so there. Hi, Instagram fam. Our guest is going to pop up in a bit. Yeah, so I was saying about our guest. She's a woman of substance. She's a philanthropist. She's beautiful. She's intelligent. She's classy. And above all, she's very humble. And she's my personal mentor. My very own personal mentor. Yeah, we're waiting for you to join us on Instagram. Yeah, I'm waiting for you to connect. I've tried to add you up. It will be up in a minute. So Instagram fam, yeah, still bear with us. She's going to come up in a minute. I'll just wait for you to get on Instagram before we start the business of the day. Yes, I've accepted the request. I'm just waiting for it to load. There you go.
Oh my God. Finally.
Yeah, it's so good to have you on this. Thank you for joining us. Good. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. How are you doing now?
I am fine. I'm fine. Thank you.
You look
great.
beautiful as always.
Really, this quarantine, we are trying to manage the way we can. Oh my God.
Yeah, okay, so okay, we're not seeing your face on Facebook, so if you can,
okay, because okay, I kept both devices, so I thought the noise from one was affecting the other, but it's okay. Can you see me now?
Yeah, yes, now we can see you on both.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so today we're talking about female empowerment. It's a subject that's very dear to my heart. I'm very passionate about the girl child. I'm very passionate about women, learning to support themselves, before, either getting married or whatever the case. Even if you're married, as a female, I believe that you must have what it takes to support yourself first before you can be, a helpmate or a support system to a man. So please, can you tell us briefly what is female empowerment and why do you think it's important?
Okay, thank you very much, Esse. Hello, Esse's Insta farm, my friends who I can see here, Toby and Co. You're all welcome to this event. It's a great privilege to be here to talk with you who are not say no to. Okay, to go straight to the question that female empowerment well, female empowerment is basically about equipping the female child or women, and to be able to take decisions that affect their own life through education, literacy, or mentor, or in any form that can enable the child to be empowered to take decisions that affect their own lives. And it's very important because for instance, in Nigeria, we hear that about 54% of the population is female. So it is really critical that the female child is empowered, or females are empowered, or the girl child is empowered, because if we do not do that, then it means more than half of the population is disadvantaged. But going back a little bit, I am from a family where we are mostly girls. I mean, my parents had 5 girls in quick succession before they had a son. So you can imagine if you have only girls and then don't empower them through education, through training, or through whatever means that you can enable them to have economic advantages, then that means a whole family can be advantage. So female empowerment is basically equipping the female child, and it's very important because we are population, and if that is not done, then that means a great percentage of the population. So let me leave that for now.
Okay, all right. So do you think that female empowerment is a reality in Africa, or is it a myth?
Oh, of course, it's a reality. Because women are very much capable of making decisions that affect them. The only thing they need is opportunities to make those decisions. The only thing women need is to have those opportunities and to have access to those opportunities. So it's actually, I mean, it's a reality, because, I mean, we are humans. We are humans. The only thing that differentiates us from the man is, I like to say, without being too graphic, is what is between the legs. Every other thing is the same. So, and we have a lot of cases in Africa to show that women empowerment is a reality. I mean, if we expose the girl child to the same opportunities as the boy child, in a number of cases we find that the girl child actually does better. So it is a reality, and we have seen occasions where women have risen to the very highest level of economic ladder, political ladder, all that. So if women have the same opportunities, they will do as well. So it's a reality, it's not a myth.
It's a reality. That's good to hear. Because the reason why I asked that question is because even till today, yeah, there are some parts of Africa, and even in Nigeria, there are some parts of Nigeria where the female child is not given as much attention when it comes to education as the male child. So you have homes where the female child are taught how to be domestic. That's the area of concentration for the female child, and then the male child, you know, is the one who gets sent to school to, you know, uphold the family name or legacy and all of that. So, what are the roles that parents can play in empowering their girl child from an early age?
Yes, you are very, very correct, and even till today, in certain parts of the country, there's those cultural barriers and there are those social barriers against training or educating the female child. You find that for whatever reason, I mean, some people still believe that a girl is only good in the kitchen. So what's the point sending her to school? Just train her how to cook, wash clothes, and take care of children. It is sad, but it's true. I mean, some of us may not be experiencing it maybe in the southern part of the country or in some parts of Africa, but I know that in Nigeria today, there are still places where people believe that there's a limit to what a girl can do. So because of that, there's a limit to how much a girl can trade or a girl can be exposed. But that is not very correct, and that is actually so. The role parents can play is to first of all overcome those social and cultural barriers, and then to understand that what a girl can do, what a boy can do, a girl can also do. I remember growing up, my father used to tell me that if you do not have a male dog to go take for hunting, you know, when hunters, in those days when hunters go hunting, they carry dogs with them because the dogs help them to sniff where the wild animals are and lead them to where the wild animals are so they can go hunting. So and normally they go with the dog. So my father used to tell us that if you don't have a male dog to take for hunting, you go with a female dog. Basically meaning that if you don't have a male child to take you to where you're going to, your female child can also take you there. So that means a female child has every right to be exposed to the same opportunities as the male child. So parents, they have to first of all overcome those cultural barriers. They have to overcome the religious barriers. There are some places where there are religious barriers to educating girls, which is really sad. And you know, so they have to overcome those and then understand that a girl has every physiological whatever makeup to be and achieve what a boy can achieve. So a girl should not be disadvantaged, or a girl should not be prevented. Hello, are you there?
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, fine.
I thought you were frozen.
It was freezing a bit, but we're back on now.
All right, that's great.
Okay. What role does formal education have to play in empowering the girl child?
Oh, a lot. There's so much a child can learn from home, and but there's so much more that a child can learn from the formal environment. Exactly. So, parents overcoming cultural and social barriers and just teaching their children about life is not enough. A child has to get a formal education that will expose them to wider learning, that will expose them to better skills, that will expose them to a better environment, that will expose them to the networking opportunities, that will, I mean, how much, even for those of us who went to uni, I mean, how much can we impart into our children when it comes to education? So the child, I mean, for instance, if a child is going to or have the capacity to become a doctor, the child has to be exposed to a formal school environment to learn to become a doctor. So you can imagine if a child has that potential and is not exposed, that means that the whole of that family has lost the opportunity to have a doctor, not just in their family, but somebody that can serve a wider range of people. So formal education is very important. I tell people that education gives you the capacity to face anyone in the world. I mean, I have friends that I grew up with, and most of them did not go beyond primary. Some of them did not go beyond primary. Some of them stopped at secondary. Some went as far as university. When we all meet up and we are talking, you see the difference in how we approach life, the difference in how we connect with people, just based on the level of education that each of us was able to acquire over time. So formal education is very, very important in empowering the girl child. The opportunities are wider, the opportunities are greater. The more opportunities open up, the more the child is exposed to formal education.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's very interesting. Well, that got me thinking about, okay, so the level of education matters according to what you're saying now. Yeah, to help empower a female child.
Yes, that's true.
So someone who doesn't have, like a higher education will not have as much exposure or as much opportunities as someone who just has a school cert?
Not necessarily. There might be some limiting factors, but not necessarily. Somebody that maybe for maybe because of lack of opportunity stopped at secondary education, there are so many opportunities to upgrade. There are so many opportunities to to upskill. Yeah, there's so many opportunities to even connect with those kind of people, those that other people have been able to access. They understand. So having the most important thing is to have a formal education, to be able to read and write, to be able to be able to interpret things for yourself, to be able to take a book, for instance, and you are able to read it and understand and make sense of what it is and what it is talking about, and be able to apply it. I was telling somebody a story recently of my an uncle of mine who stopped in who had only had standard education, but along the line, the man he joined the police force with just a standard education. But along the line, he was able to study on his own and do GCE, external GCE, and then went into the university or went into a post-secondary school. I think he went to Polytechnic and did OMD and decided not to stop there. He went further to do it. And then, of course, it now exposed him to a bigger career, to more opportunities, career opportunities than when he was just a policeman. I mean, by the time he left school, he now had so many career choices to make. You understand? So the most important thing is to first of all acquire that formal education where you are able to read and write. And then once you are able to read and write, you have access to opportunities. You can grow from there. I mean, the difficulty is when the child is not even given any form of education whatsoever. And then you find out that the child is limited. Even when there's opportunity for the child to be literate, it is not even easy to train that kind of a person. There is not easy to train that kind of person when the person is not even literate and the person is not even exposed to any form of formal education. So it becomes a limiting factor for the person.
Yeah, before I go on to that reminds me of something, yeah. But before I say that, let me just say that to our audience. Please, if you have any questions for Mrs. Ogbechie, please start dropping the questions so that, you know, as the interview goes on, we can take some of your questions as well. What you just said now reminds me of a friend that I met. You know, sometimes I think it has to do with the person's determination as well. The story of this young man I want to say is he's an Igbo guy who came to Nigeria through a family. You know the way they do it, they bring their family members to come and do apprenticeship under them or something like that. So they work in their shop or something, and then after a couple of years they do freedom for them and let them start their own business. And some of them just go on to, you know, that's their own form of empowering, you know, their fellow but this particular guy, after his freedom, the guy set up a shop for him and everything. He actually went back to school.
Absolutely.
He went to get a degree, and then he went on to get a master's degree as well. So while he was running his business, he actually went back to school. So
yes, there are several examples like that. In fact, I have loads of them. When I was interestingly, when I was in secondary school, the year I started Form 1 in secondary school was the year the year before I entered secondary school, my mom went to TTC, Teachers Training College. So my mom and I were in school at the same time, and that was because she had been working with her standard education for many years, and she just felt like she needed to acquire more education. So she went back to school. So we were in school about the same time. I mean, we go on holidays. When it's time to go back to school, she's packing, I'll be packing. But where I'm telling this story, I'm not telling this story because I want to talk about my mom. My mom had a friend who was a junior staff in her teacher training college when my mom was a student in teacher training college. All the woman had was a standard education. And then everyone had given up hope that she will ever get educated. You understand? Because everybody just, I mean, her siblings, everybody. But she also had a brother who was a medical doctor. And that brother of hers is so passionate about education that he made sure that the woman, after many years, she went back to that teacher training college where she was working as a junior staff and had teacher training certificate. From teacher training, she went on to college of education. From college of education, she went back to university to get a degree. And then from there, she went on to get a master's degree and became the principal of a secondary school.
Wow.
And this woman, by the time I was a graduate, by the time I graduated from the university, she was still a junior staff. I think she was a cook or a steward in the teacher training school. So all this education, TTC, college and why was she able to do that? Because at some point in her life, when she was younger, she had been able to acquire the basic formal education, the primary school education. So every other thing in her life, she was able to build on what she had acquired and then go on from there. So there are lots of examples like that. You know, there are lots of examples like that. So at any stage in your life, you can actually decide to get this education. But what we are about right now, and I think what we are trying to address is that the fact that at the very basic level, when the children are young, when the children are quite young, we should not miss that opportunity to expose them to some level of formal education, so that later on in life, whatever they want to build, they can build on. There should be something to build on. But even then, I don't believe that there's an age limit to when somebody can get an education. Even if you, at the age of 20, you decide you want to learn how to read and write, you can, because my grandmother did it.
Okay.
And
so
that is a story for another day. Yes.
Yeah, that brings me to my next question. Yeah. What can young people who don't have the means and opportunity to get empowered, what can they do? For example, a person who can afford to get an education and does not have capital to start a business. Because you see, we have a lot of them in Nigeria that are laying around. In fact, we even have graduates that don't have jobs, they don't have capital to start a business, but they desire to, you know, to get empowerment, to do something, to be functional in society. But it's like nothing seems to be working. There's no platform, there's no opportunity, there's no support for them. What can they do?
Thank you very much. That is a very good question, and I think it's actually at the meat of this, or the heart of this discussion today, because we are talking about education and we are talking about finance. Those are the pillars of empowerment.
Yes.
Yeah, the pillars of empowerment. And okay, let's talk about the education part. One thing I believe is that in life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate in life. Okay. You get what you negotiate. So you said something about people who are laying around, they don't have much to do. It's a major problem. I mean, a lot of the times we tend to blame parents, we blame government, we blame anybody blamable, but all those are true. I mean, maybe some parents did not educate their children, or maybe the government is not providing the enabling environment, or the government does not have enough welfare package, or whatever packages, or whatever. But the truth is that the attitude of life of the individual is very, very crucial. What is a person's attitude to life? What is their inner motivation? What is motivating them inside? I know we're a lot of people of faith here and that kind of a thing, you know, and I believe that God has given everybody the power, that there is something that God has put inside everybody that we can always tap into to achieve what we want to achieve, if only we believe, or if only we are able to, tap into what God has given us. You know, a lot of times people define it as grit, that's GRIT. Some people define it as determination. I mean, what the Yorubas call agidi. I don't speak Yoruba, but yes, I don't speak Yoruba, but I love that word, you know, since I got to hear of it. So there is that thing inside of us that we all have. And we've seen it play out in a lot of people. I've met people who did not have any, who did not have the resources that their contemporaries had when they were growing up. But just by sheer determination, you understand, and the will to do better, they have been able to achieve something of their lives. I mean, like we all know a lot. You know me very well. You know my background. You know where I'm coming from. I know a bit of your story. You understand, and or let me say, I know a lot of your stories. So, and we know what you have you've been through to get to where you are. I mean, there are loads of examples all around us. You understand? So when we talk about the issue of education and finance, I don't believe that any of these things should actually hold anybody down.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Okay, let us even talk about the issue of education. Assuming you wake up at the age of 20, 30, for instance, which is really rare, and say, oh, I do not have any kind of education whatsoever, and I desire to have an education. I'm sure you can, it is possible. Or let us even say you have an education, you are already literate. I mean, you have gone to school and all that kind of thing. With things, tools available online, you can learn to do anything. All it requires is for you to be ready to pay the price. Do you want to go online to learn certain things, to do certain things? Do you want to acquire some skills? Do you want to connect yourself to somebody that's already doing it and learn from the person? Do you want to be an apprentice to somebody to learn how to do it? So in the area of education, there are opportunities. All it requires is for the person to be determined to do it. And then in the issue of finance, it's a real problem. Finance has always been that major for people who want to go into business. But and unfortunately, in our climate in Nigeria here, we really don't have those kinds of funding organizations that provide the access to finance. The banks are there, they come up with some products, but they really don't, I mean, a lot of people really don't have access to those products. So I still believe that one of the surest ways of getting finance is from the personal.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said from personal savings.
Personal savings, okay.
Personal savings, yeah. So if you desire to go into business and you don't have any money, the immediate thing to do for it, from doing that job, you can try and save a little bit at a time to grow some capital that you can use to start. Or you can also rely on family and friends. I mean, you can also rely on family and friends for capital to start. Then if you can borrow from organizations that have that give people money to start their business. You can go to the banks, but the truth is that it is not always easy to get funding from banks when you are just starting up. It is not always easy. And even the organizations that provide funding, most of them are very, very expensive. So the surest way to get money to start business or to access capital to start a business more often than personal savings.
Personal savings and family and friends.
Yes.
Okay, do you know of any organizations that help with empowerment, and how can female empowerment be successfully conducted? Are there organizations? Is the government doing anything? Are there any schemes?
Yes, there are. There are a number of them in Nigeria that we are aware of, and
Okay.
government through the Ministry of Women Affairs or something, they come up with different programs to empower women. Focus on empowering women. I know that there's UN Women that has done a lot, and they also work through some organizations in Nigeria. But one of the best organizations that I know of in Nigeria right now that is focused on women empowerment is an organization called WIMBIS, Women in Management.
WIMBIS, yes, okay.
WIMBIS, yes, WIMBIS, exactly. It's an organization that has been around for about 18 years, and they've done a lot with trainings, organizing programs that
I know of WIMBIS.
Yes, exactly. That enable women to come together, network, and train, and then ensure that women and create opportunities for women to access leadership positions in organizations, in boards, and all. They are also an advocacy organization. They do a lot of advocacy for women to get positions that traditionally are reserved for men and all that. But a lot of women's activities is organized, and it targets women who are in the formal sectors and all that. Yeah, but we also have organizations that focus on rural women, and then and also that focus on the younger generations, that children who are still in primary and secondary school. Then of course I know a lot of faith-based organizations actually do things that are targeted women and empowerment, yes, women and girl child empowerment. So there are a lot of them like that in churches and in other organizations. So there are a lot of activities going on. I mean, even in my, I remember one time I was talking to a young girl who used to be my late mom's house help, and she still lives with my younger sister, and she just did JAM now, waiting to go to school and all that. So I was talking to her, and she said, oh, she attended a girl camp in some town in Akwa Ibom State, and I'm like, okay, what did people go there to do? So, oh, no, it's a camp that they put together to train the girls, equip them for homemaking, for teach them stuff about homemaking, and also give them classes about career counseling, exactly, career counseling and all that kind of thing. So there are organizations that target different segments of women, whether at the teenage level, at the school level, at the career level, and at leadership level. All they need to make sure that women close the gap between that we close the gap between the men and the women in whatever segment of society we find ourselves. So yes, there are organizations like that.
Okay, so I'm going to take a question from someone on Facebook. Tracy Akpojoto says, sadly, women are still unaware of the fact that they need to be empowered and they're suffering in silence. How do we reach out to these kind of women? There's probably women in the grassroots that don't even know about these organizations that we're talking about.
Well, like I said, okay. Like I said, I think the world is really opening up, right? I think the world is really opening. And what we can do, because I find that there's a lot of concentration of activities in the urban centers, for me, and for me, because I'm a proper village girl, and yes, that's the truth. I'm a proper village girl, and my heart is always with people back in the village, and when I'm in the rural areas. And so I know that most times when I attend seminars, when I attend functions, when I see I see what is going on, I always ask myself, who is taking all this to the people in the villages? Who is taking all this to the people in the rural areas? Because not everybody will not come to Lagos. Everybody will not attend a WIMBI event. Everybody will not attend a UN event. But the truth is that there are people there who need this learning. There are people who need this information that we have on our fingertips. So what we can do is, as many of us as have been exposed to these resources, we should try as much as possible to bend backwards and make sure we reach out to people like that. You understand? I do a lot with women back home, with people back home, and because my passion is for educating educating children, because I just realized that I am very, 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 very convinced that a lot of who I am today is because, apart from the grace of God, is because I was exposed. My parents valued education and exposed all of us to education and made sure that we all had an education. And because of that, I am always looking out for ways and avenues to make sure that we continue to provide education for people back in the rural areas. So what I will just try to say to the person that asked that question is that, the person that asked that question is that whatever you think you have benefited from, you should try as much as possible to plow that back into the people in rural areas. I mean, you may not be able to do it for everybody, but you are able to do it for 1, 2, 3, 4 people, 5 people. And if every one of us is able to do that, then we will create more women educated and more women empowered.
Thank you very much for that response. Actually, the person that asked the question is my friend, and we had this discussion a couple of days back, where, because she's also someone who's very concerned about people back home. Yes. Okay, so, and then I'm here in the UK, she's in Canada, and then we just kept thinking, okay, what's in empowerment? What about the people back home? And I said to her, I said, you know what, we're going to start from each other. Yes. When we can go back home after all this pandemic thing going on, we will plan it, we will go back, and then we will start to reach out, one family at a time. Yes. The truth is, you cannot reach out to everybody. Yeah. And out of the 100 people who would even come for your meeting or your seminar, maybe like just 20 of them are actually interested in whatever you have to say to them. So you start with the people who are interested, you know, and then you take it up from there. So you can imagine if everyone who has accomplished something in their life has this kind of mindset, and then they are retracing their steps and going back home to their villages, you know, to try and impact this onto other people, then, you know, I mean, this situation gets resolved to a large extent.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the truth is that, okay, like, when we do it in various forms. I mean, the first thing, I remember the first thing we did about 3 years ago was to build a classroom, a block of classroom, and donated a block of classroom to one of the primary schools in my hometown. You know, because we just realized that at that young level, they have to be in a proper environment and be, I mean, if you have more classrooms, then you'll be able to have more children in school, and they'll be able to be comfortable and they will learn, you know. So, and then after a while, we now went forward, we upgraded to secondary school. We realized that a lot of students were either not going to school, or they had to walk long distances to go to schools in some other places, because the school that was in the village didn't have enough classrooms to contain all the children there. So donated another block of classrooms. So we can just start like that, bit by bit, provide classroom, provide educational resources, provide books for children, pay school fees for some children. I mean, you won't believe that some people actually drop out of school because of 25,000 naira.
I know.
Somebody will drop out of school because of 15,000 naira. Yes.
Yeah.
People drop out of school for all kinds of reasons. You understand? So just bit by bit, pay school fees for this, buy books for that, provide. I'm not sure how much more that how much a lot of them are making from. So we can teach them other skills. You understand? Other skills to do economically and make some. Yeah, it all helps. All these things are together. So it may not be a big thing, but if you can bring the big ones, but just starting from one little thing at a time, change one girl's life, change one woman's life, empower one woman. I mean, you can imagine a woman that has 6 children, for instance.
Wow,
if you empower the woman, you can be sure that that woman will be able to make sure that her children go to school. And that means that it impacted a whole family. So it's very, very important that we all go back and make sure that we plow back some of these things to our home communities.
Okay, so I know that you're involved with Wimbies to a large extent, and then your own, little foundation or NGO that you have helping people back at home. What are some of the challenges that you've faced with trying to empower people?
Okay, some of the challenges in trying to empower people, somebody said something about whether the people are even ready. You will encounter some that are very hungry, but you are ready to change their lives. But you will also encounter others that don't really understand that that they can do better.
Do better.
Who are just docile, or they have come to accept their lot as that is their lot. I mean, there's nothing they can do about it. So yeah, because I said earlier that the ability for us human beings to tap into our inner motivation is very, very important in moving forward in life. So I find that a lot of the time, people in those environments, they are not able to tap into that inner motivation, and they need somebody to
help them see.
Yes, exactly. So you need somebody to, and then a lot of times people tend to be afraid of what they don't understand.
True.
Yeah, people tend to be afraid of what they don't understand. So you find that fear, you find that lack of trust, then you find that maybe after a while they don't really see, hey, I just they don't really see much coming out of it, and so they become discouraged. So we encounter some of these challenges, liturgy on their own part, and then, for instance, there was a time we were trying to the school I talked about that we donated, that we built for one of the secondary schools in my hometown. Even to get the community to, I mean, this was a school that we were going to build. We were going to build our own resources. We even to get them to cooperate with us to build that community, to build that school was even a problem. You understand? It was even a problem, So, I mean, it's like you are trying to bring good to the community, benefit the children of that community, but the community itself are the ones that are putting a stumbling block, or making it difficult for you to execute what you want to do. So we find those challenges because either they don't understand, or they are not dreaming big enough. Their dreams are not big enough. Yeah, their dreams are not big enough, or they don't just see what you're seeing. You understand? So we have some of those challenges. I don't want to go to the government part of it and all that.
I know. I had one of those challenges in one of the government schools I
Yes,
was working with in Lagos. And the principal of the school was the one even standing at the stumbling block to what I wanted to do for the school, for the children in the school.
yes,
So,
exactly.
of course, I just moved on to another school.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that story.
Yeah.
Very well. You know, so sometimes you want to do these things for people back home and all that kind of thing. You inquire some of the challenges. You encounter some of these challenges, but the thing is that you know what you want. You know the people. You know who your audience is. You know the people that you really want to benefit from what you're doing. So you don't give up. Yeah, just keep up with it. Yeah. But that is at the school level, though, where you know there are so many other.
There are so many other, yeah.
Yes, in other spheres. I mean, even in career, in leadership position. I mean, women encounter all kinds of problems, but
All kinds of. So, what's your advice? What's your advice to? Yeah, I know, because if we can go on and on if we decide to
yeah,
touch on
I'm
different
looking at your
aspects
time.
of this.
That's why I don't want to
Yeah,
go
I
into
know. So yeah, so can you give us give an advice to the younger generation?
That one is that one is jam question, you see. What am I going? What will I advise? I just hi, okay, yeah, so we'll go back home together. One of my friends is just saying that she's for going back home too. Okay. Now, what do I want to advise the younger generation? Okay. I would like to, what do I say now? Okay. I want to advise the younger generation to be prepared at every stage in your life. Every stage of your life, be prepared to take advantage of what opportunities are around you. You know, be ready, acquire skills. I mean, I mean, the times we are in now are not times for any woman. And now I'm talking to women, because I think this our major discussion is
Women, yeah.
women empowerment. Yeah, you know, be prepared at every stage of life. There are opportunities are bound. You know, there are opportunities there. Take opportunity to learn, acquire, build financial muscle. You know, and even though women empowerment, money is critical, but it is not all about money. You understand? It's not all about, but you must build financial capacity for yourself. You know, I have a mentor who used to say that if you, as a woman, you need to ask your husband for money. For those who are married now, and you have to ask your husband for money before you can cook. You have to ask your husband for money before you can do basic things. Then you are a disgrace to womanhood.
That was a very controversial statement.
Yes, the first time she said this thing, I know a lot of people have a problem with it. You understand? But what I will advise women, aim for some level of financial independence at whatever stage of your life that you are. Even if you are in school, I remember that when I was an undergraduate, I've told this story before, but I don't know, maybe I've told it to you. When I was an undergraduate, both my parents were teachers, and they used to pay my fees. They used to, but I had other siblings that they needed to pay. The money was. And I was doing manual labor. I was doing manual labor to be able to make extra income to go back to school. So I know a lot of people who have who had that same experience. So at every stage in your life, if you are in a career already, you understand, and you have bosses ahead of you, colleagues ahead of you who have attained certain levels or in their careers that you aim to be. When you're getting close to them, your closeness to that your female boss is not how to find out about the price of her other bag or her shoe and find out how you are going to get it. Your closeness to that your female boss should be how you can learn from the person. How you can, you can find out about the skills the person has acquired over to be able to rise to the position they are. And then find out how you can get those same skills and aspire to be. Because the higher you climb the career ladder, the more empowered you will be. And then if you're a male boss, that male boss in your life is not for you to sleep with. The male boss is for you to learn from and understand how it feels to work in a male-dominated environment, or to work with a male boss and be able to grow your career. You understand? So at every point, as a woman, wherever you find yourself, whether you're in school, whether you're in career, whether you're in leadership position, you have opportunity to grow yourself, to learn, to acquire, also to make sure that you're growing yourself financially, because financial capacity is a very big part of empowerment. You can do so much more when you have the resources in your hand than when you're somebody else to bring the resources for you to do what you need to do.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Ogbechie. It was a real pleasure to have you on the show today. And every time I sit with you, I always learn something new. Honestly. And yes, and that's why I keep saying I will brag to everyone and anyone that cares to listen. You are my mentor anytime, any day. If there's nothing I want to do that I don't call you and say, I want to do this thing, what's your advice? Because here is a wealth of wisdom you can always draw from. So to round up everything that she said on this show, please, the first thing is you have to be determined first that you want change.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you have to work hard at it. Learn to save, cultivate the habit of saving. Yeah, and then when you can, take advantage of whatever opportunities come your way, no matter how small. And keep believing in yourself, keep investing, don't give up. It doesn't matter if you want to go to school and you don't have the money now, keep saving till you have enough to, go to school. If you want to start a business, you don't have enough money, keep saving till you have enough. Don't give up. It doesn't matter how old you are. Thank God these days you can go to school at any time. So
absolutely.
There's really no excuse to say, oh, my parents didn't have. A lot of us don't have parents who had. I don't come from a rich background either. But it's because I was determined and I said I must. In fact, there was a time I was almost faced with dropping out of school. I actually dropped out, but what saved me was that the school went on strike for 10 months.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and in that 10 months, I started working. Yeah. And that's how I got money to go back to school when school resumed.
So if you're determined.
The determination that, yes, I must finish this, I must, get to the end of this and all of that. You just keep pushing, reach out to friends and family, like she said, so you have your savings, you have friends and family who are willing to help. Forget the ones who don't want to help. Look for the ones who will help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can always get empowered. It's never too late. It doesn't matter how old you are right now. Start from where you are. As long as you want change, go for it. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ogbechie, for joining us on this.
It's been a pleasure, Esse.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining.
Hi, Brenda. I can see my people. Oh, Brenda. Hi, Maya. Nice to have you.
Thank you all for joining us on this Esse today. Until next time on this Esse, remember, stay positive, stay happy, stay mended.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.